This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, it looks like the Democrat Party, at least the state of Texas, is finally giving in and giving up the redistricting fight, as a little while ago, the Texas Democrats who left the state several weeks ago have just returned to the state, ending the two-week quote-unquote standoff. I mean, you can't make this up. This party was hyping up these Democrats as the savior of democracy. They're going to stop the gerrymandering in Texas. It's all over for the GOP. They didn't even last 2 weeks. It took them 2 weeks to bend the knee. But this is not just a Democrat victory or defeat, because you would think on paper, okay, with them bending the knee like this quickly, you would think that the Republican Party would have gotten significant wins during this, because the Democrats looked insane. The polling looked actually pretty bad for them. So you would think, okay, with the Democrat Party bending the knee, at least in Texas, they're not doing so in California, which that may fail, but okay, at least in the state of Texas, these cowards just returned, because they know, at least on paper, Ken Paxton was going after them. He was going after Beto's groups, which were funding this crap. They were funding these Democrats leaving the state, which is just insane. But that's what was going on. And it seemed like if Democrats did not return to the state, there was a chance that at least a couple of them, someone, would have gotten punished for this. Well, despite all of this, it looks like, for whatever reason, these morons in the Republican Party of Texas gave concessions to Democrats. Yeah, you heard that right. They had the Democrat Party in Texas on their knees begging to stop this. And for whatever reason, the Republican leadership actually gave Democrats a victory, which sounds insane. I'm not trying to deny the fact that, yeah, Republicans, they got a huge win in redistricting. This is 5 extra seats in the state of Texas. That's a big deal, potentially 4 with Henry Cuellar, but still, it was a big win, sure, but it wasn't as good as it should have been. In fact, there were some concessions that Democrats got out of this, which is insane. You would think them possibly going to jail should have been the reason they came back. No, apparently there were other reasons why this actually happened. And it starts with the fact that the worthless GOP speaker, Dustin Burrows, who's completely pathetic. He has no clue what he's doing. In fact, the only reason he's even the speaker is because of Democrats. Well, the first thing he did when Democrats came back was give priority treatment to Democrat bills. Yeah, you heard that right. He decided to reward these people for leaving the state. And you wonder why I've always said the Republican Party, they suck. These people are incompetent. They have no clue what they're doing. And especially the Texas legislator, for whatever reason, the Texas legislator is filled with a bunch of these rhinos like Dustin Burrows. It is sad. It's sickening. They give them a lot of power for no reason. And look at that. They're giving priority treatment to Democrat bills. Huh? Listen, it doesn't matter what the bill was. Maybe it was something good. I don't know. I haven't looked into what the bill was. But the first thing you do was push Democrat bills through right away. That looks like you actually gave up things for them to come back. When in reality, you did not have to do anything. In fact, you could have said, okay, these people are going to get arrested. They're not showing up. This is illegal what they're doing. Ken Paxton, do your job. But no, these idiots thought, you know what? Let's just give Democrats a free win for no reason. It is insane. Now, okay, it's one thing. Maybe this was a coincidence. Maybe it's a really good bill. I don't know for sure. I haven't really looked into it. But okay, it's one thing, whatever. Well, it's not just that. As apparently, in the current proposal, the newest one, Republicans adjusted the map a little bit. Not a huge change, but there were some minor tweaks to the current map. And on paper, it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, okay, Texas 9th, it goes from R plus 15 to R plus 20, which some people are saying, oh, the way they looked at the way they changed the map a little bit in Houston, it actually helps people like Dan Crenshaw. It actually benefits Republicans like him. But that's not the only thing. As apparently, the current proposal, it's mostly the same, but there is one major change in El Paso. As apparently, for whatever reason, Dustin Burrows and the Republican Party gave Democrats, they gave them leverage in redistricting. They gave them what they wanted, at least in El Paso. As El Paso Democrats, they wanted some parts of the area to go into the 16th, okay? That's what they wanted. And the original map did not have that. But suddenly, the new proposal has the map Democrats want, at least for El Paso. Wait, what? So you're telling me that they come back, they actually show up, we have quorum, and instead of punishing them even further and say, screw it, we're going to have 7 Republican seats, not 5, 7. Instead of doing that, these morons decided, you know what, let's give Democrats what they want. I mean, it's not that big of a change on paper, but this is what Democrats wanted. They're like, yeah, we want this. This is what we want in the 16th. Why are we giving them leverage? Why? This is an R plus 20 state, R plus 15 state. Who cares what they're saying in El Paso? Who cares? The Democrat Party had no leverage. You could have done whatever you want. They could have done nothing. But no, Republicans in Texas decided, let's give Democrats a couple moral victories. Giving them priority treatment for some bills, and not just a random Democrat that stayed there or whatever. No, it's a Democrat who fled the state. It's one thing if this was somebody that stayed. This is somebody that left for Illinois. And you're going to give them priority treatment? You're going to listen to what Democrats want in the map to make the comeback? Why? You could have said, screw them. We don't need them. In fact, Ken Paxton, do what you have to do to get them back here, all right? And if not, well, we could kick them all out of office. There are so many ways you could have handled this. And instead of doing that, which they should have done, Republicans were like, nah, we'll get the moral victory or whatever you want to call this. Like, yeah, we're getting the map. But they should have used this to go even further. They should have said, screw you, we're not going to listen to you. They should have grown a spine. But yet again, the Republican Party, especially in Texas, for whatever reason, this doesn't make any sense. You would think the Texas Republicans would not care. But they're so inept and they're so spineless that they're saying, no, we're going to give Democrats some priority treatment. We're going to give Democrats a free win in El Paso at least. And apparently the new map in some ways benefit the more established GOP like Dan Crenshaw, and it actually gives Democrats a boost in Houston somehow. I don't know how, but that's what some people are saying. Like, it's actually helping some Democrats in Houston. It's utter insanity. What are we doing here? What the hell are we trying to accomplish here? There's no reason to do this. You could have just kept the map the exact same. But doing these small things, it makes you look like cowards. I don't get this. Like, fine, whatever. Make one district more Republican, that's one thing. But seriously, do all this other stuff? It may seem small on paper, but it adds up. This could have been an opportunity to deal with these people once and for all and just say, screw it. We're going to gain 7, 8, 9 seats. Now, I'm not saying that's what would have happened, but they didn't even try. They just ignored everything that happened. It's like, oh, yeah, the Democrats, they came back. And instead of punishing them even further, we're going to bend the knee to some of their demands? Really? When you could have gone even further and drawn a much better map? Because I've said before, this map, it's good, but it's not as good as it could have been. It should have been. It's not as Republican as it really could have been. So, yeah, it's such a mess of a situation. I don't know You know, if they're gonna make any more adjustments, I hope they do. I hope they realize, oh, who cares what they think? Just redraw it again, make it more Republican, and call it a day. But no, they gave Democrats an out. No punishment, nothing. Nothing. That's a problem. Democrats got away with pulling this crap. Now, at the end of the day, it didn't matter. But if this was Republicans doing this, like if they had the power to do this in, say, California, I guarantee you they would all be arrested right now. They would all be arrested, kicked out of office immediately. But we did not have the spine to do anything in Texas. It's unbelievable. That's the Texas Republican Party for you. It's so insane. But that's what you get when you have somebody like Dustin Burrows as the speaker. This guy should never be the speaker ever. He is a shit Republican. He has no clue what he's doing. And I thought the bare minimum, maybe he's gotten better. Maybe he grew a little bit of a spine. But clearly he has not. He has done nothing good. Outside of talking a big game on redistricting, he couldn't even do that. Just a slap on the wrist. If that, in fact, you could argue it's actually what Democrats wanted. They got stuff they wanted out of this. Why? You're just going to reward Democrats for playing this game? Really? When you could have done so many different things? Now, we'll see what happens. Maybe down the line, Republicans do something and realize, oh, wait, we can do what we want. It doesn't matter what Democrats say or do. We have the majority. Who cares what they have to say? Just redraw the maps even further, or just anything like that. Strip some of their committee positions, anything like that. But as of now, yeah, it's a win for Republicans, but man, this is just spineless. On paper, it seems like a good thing. Yeah, we got the 5 extra seats, but we went through all this mess. We were hyping up this idea that maybe we go after Democrats for leaving the state for Illinois. But you did nothing. You could have done anything. Just at the bare minimum, some kind of fine. Just do something. But when it came to act, these people did nothing. Which is why a lot of Republican voters, they're sick of this party. They're like, screw these guys. Yeah, we may like Trump, but we're not going to vote Republican because these guys are incompetent. They don't have a spine. They have no clue what they're doing. And they're not really representing what voters want. A lot of Republican voters, they wanted real punishments. Not giving rewards to Democrats for playing these games. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. A lot could potentially happen. Maybe Dustin Burrows does something good. But as of now, yikes. You went through all of this just to give Democrats a couple free wins? Really? It is sad. That's the state of the Republican Party. Not good whatsoever. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.